G'day there, everybody. So, for some of you might remember, about this time last year, I posted a video about fueling the bush. And a lot of people actually have asked me to do a bit of an update about what's happened and how we survived through the bushfire season last year. So what I'll do is I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an update. So my last video saw over 4 million people looked at that video, and I had so many responses, messages and things like that, and the huge percentage of people was in support of what I was saying. And I had a tiny little bit of a percentage that obviously was negative, which I expected that. You know, you're going to get that in everything. There was a couple of things that people did question, 3 things actually. The first thing was when I talked about the gates being locked. And I probably wasn't too clear about what I actually meant. But what I actually meant was that I believe the gates should be open in bushfire season. And I do know that all the emergency services do have keys for them gates. But the thing that I really wanted and that makes me concerned is that if we, for instance, in this bush here, we've got a bushfire up north of here, and they enter in up there to fight that fire. But as we all know, the wind can turn pretty quickly, and these fires get pretty well out of control. Now, if that wind turns and pushes the fire back down on these guys, and they jump in their trucks to try and escape that fire, and they come flying down through the bush on some tracks, and all of a sudden they are confronted by a locked gate. And this massive big fire that generates, a lot of heat, roaring down on top of them. I don't believe that somebody has to volunteer to get out of that truck and unlock a gate with the fire roaring down on top of them. I think that's so unsafe. And that's what I meant by the gates should be open to have access in all areas. The other thing was people questioned me about the greens, which I blamed. What I'll show you again in a little bit about the what the Greens are doing, under table backdoor deals. I still believe that, and if you want to have a look for yourselves, you can actually Google the Labor Party when Gillian Gillard was Prime Minister, sitting at a table with the Greens leader, and I forget his name right now, but they actually signed a deal together to do some backdoor deals. And I still believe that the reason the bush burns is poor management, which is driven by the Greens, and I still stand by that. Now, the other thing was climate change. I still believe that that's a fast, big money-making exercise for somebody that thought of it. You've only got to have a look at this year. We've had one of the wettest years on record, and also scientists have also brought out in the last week that the temperatures are 2 to 5 degrees cooler around the world currently as we see it. And you've only got to have a look yourself, especially people in Victoria. Now, I'll give you a quick look about what the difference is between what I showed you last year, the undergrowth, and what fuel is there for the fires, not when or if, but when they're going to happen, because they will happen eventually with this amount of undergrowth fuel. Poor management, and I don't blame the managers of this area, because their budget's been slashed by state governments unbelievably. They don't even have enough money to do anything, to be honest. Lucky to be able to earn a salary. So let me just show you the difference. It's a whole lot bigger now, the undergrowth. So I'll give you a bit of a look. I'll walk in here, which is very hard to do. So as you can see, this undergrowth now is massively. It's probably over 2 meters in some areas. So if you have a look at this undergrowth, at one point, like I said once before, you could walk through here quite easily, bushwalkers and things like that. But just have a look, at the fuel that's on this ground. Now, if we get some really hot days, which we will, we know we're going to get them. We always do. This is all going to dry out. And as you can see on the ground, there is a massive amount of just fuel waiting to burn, and it will burn. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. We all know that. So, as far as you can see, I can lift that up there, and you can see that massive amounts of fuel on the ground here, Now, we'll head back here. Now, what I'll do, I'll actually show you not managed, which I'm standing in right now. So this is not managed at all. It hasn't been for a long time. It used to be a long, long time ago. And I'll just show you the difference between not managed, which I'm in now and I'm struggling to find my way out. And we'll just walk over here. So obviously this is, they call this a bit of a fire break, but to be honest, if that's burning and it's got a good tailwind behind it, we all know from last year's fires, you know, how fast they travel. You know, from 300 metres away, they're generating almost 1,000 degrees of heat. And the flames just were incredible. So we'll go across here, just across the road. So just a bush track. Now I'm going to show you some managed land. Now it's still bushland. So people can't say, oh yeah, but it's a farmland. It's not actually farmland. This is the bushland. So this is managed land. So as you can see, the big difference between managed land. Now, this land here still has all the little creatures, all the insects, all the animals, all the koalas, all the kangaroos, all here, just the same as the, you know, the land that's not managed. But I sure would want to think that if there was a fire, this is the side that I would want to be fighting. It's going to be not as hot, not as quick moving, more manageable and easier to control, and obviously put the fire out compared to over there. And just have a look at that. Anyway, guys, look, I know I'm going to get some more people go, oh, you know, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, I kind of do. Do your research, have a look, you will see. And hopefully I've clarified a couple of the knockers, what they knocked about. Anyway, guys, Fueling the Bush Part 2. And let's hope that this doesn't burn, and one day our governments wake up. Even after we had the big inquiry after the last fires last season, you know, what's really happened. And I know this year's been a tough year, guys, but we can't just put the pause button on what could happen in our bushlands. You know, people's lives, properties, animals, you know, they're more important, I think, than a lot of other things that have been focused on. Anyway, guys, pass this video around. I'm sure all those people that watched my last one last year would like to see the update. And anyway, cheers, guys. But yeah, please share this and let's get it going as viral as the last one. And maybe if we can push it so hard, we might get something done about it. All right, guys, cheers.